Okay, we're going to start working on the detail in the animal and finish up the animal, and then we can go back to some details in the water. So let me get situated here. So the animal itself, it's really just about getting those other extreme colors in and the highlights in the face. You know, you're trying to bring out the whites around the eyes and the bright fur. So we're going to be working really with white, black, and a little bit of orange. Not much of it. So with the white, and this is just straight white, Tathium white. This is really the final coat that we're putting on this face. And you want to loosen up a little bit, but don't have, actually could even use a thinner brush than this. There we go. And we're going to just kind of make strokes, fill in those spaces. So there's like these certain highlights around the eyes that bring out the eye. You just fill in those whites, and that's going to show you that white part of the animal. That brings out that part of the face and brings the highlight forward. Same thing here. And afterwards I'll add in any other colors that I need to. And then in between, so you're doing first, you want to kind of like just make those little strokes. I'm going to go in later and do some things that will make it look more like fur. But right now, this is really the basis of that. And then you want to repeat that each layer, like right off the edge. We're just going to put that white that's going to finish off that end. The nose, let me get the rest of this over here. And then here there's the white that comes down near the chest. to the fur, it gets whiter closer to the base of the animal. So you just want to put like little bitty strokes in there to get that white in. You can just kind of like make little strokes just at the bottom. Bring that fur, and it gives the impression of fur. It's really that simple. And then afterwards we'll go back in with another color to finish that up. And then it does it again at the top to highlight that top. We have to fix something on the top here. We have to, the hump of this lion needs to be fixed. Like I said, a painter's eraser. We all make the mistake, and it can be easily fixed. So we're going to add these little highlights at the top. Just little dabs. You don't want to be too much. And then as you go down, it becomes less. And it highlights the top of the animal, and that's what gives it the shape. The trick to this is afterward now, once you have those little shapes in, those little bits of white highlight, you're going to go back in with a darker color and put some more colors in there to give it even more. Remember, fur changes direction. So you can also change the direction of your fur to show that the scuff of fur might be going in a different direction. So then we go back with that darker color. You don't want to be too dark. You want to be like a lighter gray. Because there may be orange in this, but there's also gray tones too from the black. And that gets repeated into other colors. So you can see, like, if you want to add like little bits of gray in here to show that there's some color that's inside that fur. And just kind of stroke through it. The thing about painting animals and wildlife is you're going to do a lot of this, and it's a lot of strokes. It takes a long time. It's not quick. I'm a little quicker, but I've been doing it a lot longer. If you're just beginning, it might take you a little bit longer, but that's okay. And just overlap those gray areas that you painted earlier with strokes, and it gives it the impression of fur. There we go. And then we do the same thing at the top. Then in the face itself, we want to get the eyes in. We want to add some highlights into the nose. show how the color changes a little bit. He has kind of a gray tone in his nose a little bit. Here. There's a little bit of gray fur inside here. And in here. Now in the ears, trick with the ears is that you have this dark area and then you have light hair that's over the top of it that gives it that look. So we're going to really just paint in the area. It's simple as that. You're just going to paint it in. Same thing here. And then on top of that, we're going to use lighter tones. But first we have to get that other. And then on top of that, we go light. First, just a medium gray. And you just kind of put the scuff in to show that the hair is changing color. And you go even lighter. You just change your values lighter and lighter and lighter. Now there is a lightness here. There's a little lightness here. And then we so we're going to show that there's some hair here. Little lines to show that the hair is growing out. And there's a little orange in those ears, so that you want to bring in so that it fits in with the rest of the animal. And I'm just going to bring a little bit of that orange into that ear. And now we want to get the eyes right. And the way to get the eyes right is you have to get the shape in first. Believe it or not, the eyes in this one are kind of a pale orange. I'm just going to paint that shape in. And then I want to get black. This might take you a few tries, but over time you practice it. Do it on this training canvas. Take one canvas and practice the eyes over and over again, because it does take time. It's not going to happen quick, and if you go fast you will be unhappy. So take your time. A good amount of water, fine brush, And you just go right around it. Get the and just pin line these little bit details in, and then it starts to take on that more realistic look. We have the we'll do a little bit more here. And when you use the black at the end, it starts to take on the shape and everything a little bit cleaner. And if you notice, as I'm painting, I'm not duplicating the exact patterns of the fur. You don't have to. It's really not important. Every lion has different fur and different markings. So your markings can be a little different. It's quite all right. You're just going to follow the same direction. So now I'm going to go back in with the black, and over the top I'm going to add that little bit of black that brings in the shape and shows even more. And remember, it's going to change position. Your lines aren't going to be perfectly straight. You want to manipulate them so they're not a complete straight line down, because fur doesn't grow that way. So as you go, you're going to add these little bits in here to show the contrast. Now, just like we did with the white, I'm going to overlap the gray with the black, which gives even more a further impression of fur. And I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I want you to get an idea of what this is going to look like. So you'll see the finished painting at the end. This is the basic idea of how to create the fur and give it that realistic look. And remember, take your time, don't rush it. I'm going to do the rest of the water highlight here. Where's that other brush? So we're going to take solid white, like I did before, and do the rest of those highlights. So we have that highlight I did before. And then we have one coming in here. And keep your paint fluid. You know, it's water, so you want to make sure that you're getting that water look. You know, there's one here. Doesn't have to be exactly like the picture. And now there's this white coming down in here. So there's going to be white here because it's in the water. So you're showing the white that's coming down to show that further reflection. And then you have the animal's face here, kind of, a little bit there. So we want to repeat suggestions of the colors from before. And then we're just going to kind of put little bits of sparkle in the water. See, we're getting there. We're almost there. Just about done. So now, there's a little bit of highlight that I like to do with an animal right at the edge. You see, you're trying to show that this is lit here. So you're going to take that brush. You're just going to kind of put a little scuff of something on the edge that highlights it. You know, because the light's shining on the edge of the animal. So that's something you want to do. And in different areas. There you go. We could use a little bit more over here. There's a spot. There. Just to kind of bring that out a little bit more. And let's see. We have a couple more highlights that come down here. And that's pretty much it. And that is the basics. I will finish up the eyes and then we're done. With the eyes, it's just, you were in that orange color and you want to go a lighter orange to create that highlight at the bottom, maybe a little lighter. Almost like a pale orange, really, really light. You just paint that shine at the bottom of the eye. Then you go back in with your dark color. Put your iris in. Just want to show a little bit of that other color around the bottom. That pale orange. And I use a fine line brush for this. Really, really fine. The thinnest one you can get. This is a small area, depending on the size of the painting. And then right in the center of that eye with as much a light as the lightest pale you can find, get it really light. You're going to put a highlight in that iris to give it to stand out. Just a little dot. And that is the basis of it. So now we'll go in and I'll just show you the whiskers real quick. It's the same thing. We're going to use this white, just a touch of the yellow, of that orange color, and really watered down. So, you get it right, you're just going to kind of pull away from it. You're going to pull that line right out. And then at the top in the ears, the same thing, same lines. We're just going to have little bitty tufts of hair that are kind of coming out of the ear. And that's the basis of the lion painting. I will finish up the details and everything else, but that's pretty much the way it's done. At the end, I will show you a final shot of it. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I hope I hear from you, and I thank you for taking this course. And please visit my website at www.albanyfinearts.com. Thank you.